Nelly. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's official. Brian Schottenheimer is our new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, the 10th coach in the Dallas Cowboys history, and the 9th coach of Jerry Jones's tenure of being the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And as he put it, that's not that many coaches, because typically, what do coaches last? 3.5 years on average or something like that. And yeah, on average, yeah, that's about right. So tell me again why we kept Jason Garrett for 10 years? We maybe should have had a few more coaches in here. So Brian Schottenheimer is getting killed in the court of public opinion, not because of anything he's done, but because of the Joneses. Cowboy fans are mad. You're mad as hell because we just saw the Commanders with the left hand up in the NFC Championship game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then the very next day, we're announcing somebody who's not the hot coordinator, not the hot guy that's being hired. I should look and see and name all the coaches that have been hired since Mike McCarthy. Who was hired when Mike McCarthy was? Because there's always the hot coordinators that are out there, right? There's always those hot coordinators that get those jobs and everybody gets excited on them, just like the quarterbacks. Every year we get told that there's generational quarterbacks. Remember how everybody was about Trevor Lawrence? Oh my God, the Cowboys, they got a tank for Trevor. Trevor Lawrence, man, he's like, once in those generational quarterbacks. I got to tell you, I've seen a lot of good ones that have been drafted and things. He ain't one of them. And the same thing is true about coaches. I don't know that Sean McVay, coming from the Washington Commanders as offensive coordinator, that he was one of those hot coordinators. I don't think he was. San Francisco hired him. You can say he's a great coach. Kyle Shanahan also came from the Commanders, but he did at least get to Atlanta working with Dan Quinn and got them to a Super Bowl. So you kind of looked at it and said, okay, Kyle Shanahan, he's got the pedigree from his dad. He's done great with Atlanta, except, Atlanta collapsed not because of the offense, although they should have run the football instead of passing there late in the game, because had they just run the ball, they could have kicked a field goal and would have been 2 scores up. But be that as it may, I don't know if that was his call or not. But we've had guys, I always like to think of Mike McDaniels, who was hired to replace Brian Flores because they said Brian Flores wasn't good enough. They did everything to support the boy genius, and they're getting the same results. They're not a good team. They're not. I'm surprised he still has a job. But I guess they looked and said there's not a lot of great coordinators out there. Robert Saleh was considered a great coordinator from the 49ers. Goes to the Jets. Now he's back to being a coordinator with the 49ers. There's always the hot coordinators out there. But a lot of these hot coordinators, yeah, you see Kyle Shanahan. He was a hot coordinator, and he's done well. But you see more of them. You remember with Josh McDaniels, great coordinator for Bill Belichick, right? Some of you Cowboy fans wanted him as a head coach. Oh my God, we got to go get Josh McDaniels. Call Josh McDaniels. He destroyed 2 teams, the Raiders and Denver. You understand what I'm saying? There's no guarantee that any hot coordinator is going to be a great coach. Norm Turner was a hot coordinator with the Cowboys. But I kind of have to look at it and say you had Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, best offensive line in football. Michael Irvin, Jay Novacek. Hell, I might have been able to call a few plays that might have been good for that team. You understand what I'm saying? But then when you go to a team that's lesser, like the Commanders, as a head coach, not so much. Not so much. Because what you have to understand is being a coordinator is different than being a head coach. It's different. As a coordinator, you're more hands-on with the players. You're the guy that's the direct coordinator. You know, that you're the guy. You've seen Dan Quinn, who excelled as a defensive coordinator because he loved it. He'd jump in there as a nose tackle and stuff and play on the field and things. He got to be the friends of like Micah Parsons and stuff. As the head coach, you don't have that same dynamic where you're working with individual players, where you're working with basically half the team or so forth, or a position. You're overseeing the whole situation. You're dealing with the press conferences and you're dealing with the Joneses. Now, the thing I will say is I don't like the way the Cowboys go about business. To me, it always feels like they're looking for the easy out and easy solution as opposed to trying to do difficult things. That they always make the easy. It's easy to go ahead and say, well, let's get Brian Schottenheimer. But sometimes you get lucky. And I will say that when I looked at Brian Schottenheimer, and when I was impressed actually 2 years ago listening to him after he replaced Kellen Moore at training camp. Listening to him before, it was like, I can listen to him all day long because he actually is saying something to me. He's actually articulate and can explain things to you. And you can listen to him and you believe things he says. When I listen to Kellen Moore, it's like, meh. It's like Mike McDaniels. Meh. I'd run through a brick wall for Brian Schottenheimer. If as a player, I would believe that he cares about what we're doing and cares about winning. I don't know that I could do that for Kellen Moore. And that's the thing I will say, at least. For guys that are going to be here on offense. See, there's a lot of guys right now, like last year, Tony Pollard, he knew he wasn't coming back to Dallas. He literally went on vacation as soon as the season was over, and he didn't even know about Mike Zimmer being hired. Because basically he knows I'm going elsewhere, I'm a free agent. They're not going to re-sign me. And you have a lot of those players that are there like that now. But one, the fact that Dak Prescott and Ferg and some of these other guys, Schoonmaker and things, that they're there at the start. And they were there for this press conference says a lot about how they feel about him. And if there is that relationship there where we care about this guy, they're going to be looking to perform for that guy as well as themselves, to be the best that they can be and try and make him look good as well as themselves. That's the one thing that gives me hope. That, and I believe that Schottenheimer, understanding that his DNA of his dad was, we're going to run the ball down your throat and we're going to inflict as much pain as possible when we do. With Christian Okoye and Barry Word, two of the toughest running backs that I have ever seen. Marty Ball was a beast. Now, I don't expect to see Marty Ball, and I don't want to see completely Marty Ball. But I'd like to be able to see some running ability from this team, because that's going to be the best way to prolong Dak Prescott's career, and being balanced is going to give you the biggest bang for the buck. And if you are able to run the football, when you do get a lead, you can play keep away from teams. This is one of those things that we haven't been able to do for a long time. And I'm actually excited about Brian Schottenheimer. You can call me an idiot and things, and I still am pissed off at the Joneses for what they do and how they do it, for them taking forever to make a decision. But maybe this works out better than Mike McCarthy and his aw shucks. That's all I have to say about that. So, Another day is in the books, and it's another day that gets us closer to next season. We still have 13 days till the Eagles take on the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Man, it's been hard. But hey, it is what it is. Hope you guys have a great night, and go in here, take a shower, and in about an hour from now, it will be my 23rd of being together and 22nd year of marriage to that lady in there. And I'm thankful for that. Remember, tell the people you love how much you love them, because life is short and life is precious. Let them know how you feel about you. And I'll see you guys soon. And I love you.